Let's book the next 5 years of Chad Gable's WWE career. This story starts at SummerSlam 2024. Damian Priest is the current Intercontinental Champion after cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania 40. Priest defends his title against Chad Gable at SummerSlam, who was really over with the fans at this point. Gable defies the odds as his wrestling expertise proved too much for Priest, as he picks up his first Intercontinental Championship in WWE. Gable's first few title defences will be against Bronson Reed and Ludwig Kaiser, which he would successfully retain in both matches, whilst continuing his feud with Damian Priest and the Judgment Day. Alpha Academy's feud with the Judgment Day would lead into Survivor Series, where Gable would challenge the Judgment Day to a War Games match. The Judgment Day would accept, but Gable's Alpha Academy are one man short. Gable promises Priest that he has the gold standard of tag team partners, who he will meet at Survivor Series. After the entrants have made their way to the ring, we await the final entrant for Alpha Academy. Returning to the WWE, Shelton Benjamin is back, and he is an honorary member of Alpha Academy. Despite Shelton's influence, the Judgment Day ultimately come out on top, but Gable is still the IC champion as we head into 2025. At the Royal Rumble, Alpha Academy members Otis and Akira Tozawa defeat Pretty Deadly for the tag team titles. In the weeks following, Shelton Benjamin takes the Creed brothers under his wing and tries to secure them access into Alpha Academy. Gable denies their entry as he says the academy is full, but they're welcome to try out in the future. The following week, Otis and Tozawa would successfully defend their titles against Pretty Deadly, and after the match the Creed brothers would come out to congratulate the academy, but they would swerve everyone by attacking Otis and Tozawa. Shelton and Gable would head to the ring to save their academy teammates. Gable would confront Julius and Brutus, but he would turn round to a super kick from Shelton Benjamin. Shelton has turned on the Alpha Academy and on Chad Gable as he stands tall with the Creed brothers. In the following week, Shelton comes out to the ring with the Creed brothers and announces the name of the trio as Team Benjamin. Alpha Academy and Team Benjamin would feud heading into WrestleMania 41. Otis and Tozawa would defend the tag team titles against the Creed brothers, and Chad Gable would defend his Intercontinental Championship against Shelton Benjamin. At WrestleMania, the Creed brothers would pick up the W for Team Benjamin as they beat Alpha Academy for the tag team titles. However, the W's for Team Benjamin would stop there, as Chad Gable would defeat Shelton Benjamin to retain the IC title. The two factions would continue to feud well into the summer, with both teams clashing in a 6-man tag. Alpha Academy would get the last laugh in the feud as they managed to defeat Team Benjamin in an awesome 6-man match. Throughout the rest of the year, the Alpha Academy would continue to collectively rank up wins in 6-man and singles competition. Gable would defend his IC title against Gunther at Hell in a Cell, but would drop the title to the Ring General. In order to get his title back, he has to beat the most dominant force in the WWE. Gable is determined to bring the title back to the Academy. At the 2026 Royal Rumble, Gable would challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Gable would start the match strong, but Gunther's chops wouldn't take too long to slow Gable down. Gable would gain some momentum in the match after landing a Kurt Angle style moonsault from the top rope. Gunther would kick out at 2 and would proceed to land a powerbomb on Gable. Gable would fight back again, landing a rolling German suplex, but Gunther would kick out again. Gable would land another perfectly executed suplex, but Ludwig Kaiser would strike Gable, ending the match by DQ, as Gunther retains his title. Gunther and Gable would continue to feud after the Rumble into WrestleMania 42, where Gable would get his final opportunity for the IC title. This time, Imperium are banned from ringside, and Gable tells Alpha Academy that he has to do this on his own. He needs to know if he is truly ready, willing, and Gable. The clash at WrestleMania surpasses their Rumble encounter, even more physical and more near falls than before. In the closing moments of the match, Gunther, exhausted at this point, would charge at Gable in the corner. Gable would dodge out of the way, sending Gunther crashing into the turnbuckle pads. Gable would proceed to land an awesome German suplex, but in an amazing show of strength, he would roll Gunther through again, landing a second German suplex. Gable would win the match, finally defeating Gunther decisively, winning his second Intercontinental Championship. Following WrestleMania, Gable would summon Otis and Tozawa to the ring. In an emotional moment, Gable would step down as the leader of the Academy. He would state that he has excelled to heights that he thought were impossible, and is ready to look towards the future. He would go on to promote Otis to lead the group, declaring him as a loyal graduate and worthy to run the Academy to even greater heights. Gable would then be drafted to SmackDown along with his IC title. On the Blue brand, Gable would continue his success, retaining the title across the year against the likes of Carmelo Hayes, Cameron Grimes, Grayson Waller, Santos Escobar, and Austin Theory as the year closes out. Gable would start 2027 strong with a successful title defence against Austin Theory at the Royal Rumble. Following the Rumble, Gable would move on to a programme with number one contender Bron Breakker. Gable would see Bron as a real threat to his IC title reign and knows the challenge that he faces heading into WrestleMania. At WrestleMania 43, Gable defends the title against Bron Breakker in a wrestling classic. Gable would try everything to put Bron away, but he just can't stop him. Bron lands a spear and a military press power slam to win the title, ending Gable's year-long reign with the IC title. Following WrestleMania, Gable would descend into deep title withdrawal as he questions his intensity. In need of significant motivation, Gable would be visited by WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle. Angle would remind Gable of the 3 I's: intensity, integrity, and intelligence. Angle would tell Gable that he possesses all 3, but he just needs to find them. In an attempt to push Gable to his limits and to realise his 3 I's, Angle would set up a gauntlet for Gable on SmackDown. Gable's first challenge is Akira Tozawa, Gable's former Academy teammate. Angle states that Gable must use his intelligence to create a plan to counteract Tozawa's speed, which he does successfully, defeating Tozawa in the first match. The next challenge is Otis, another of Gable's former tag team partners. In this match, Gable must use his integrity and to win the match honestly, despite the obvious size advantage possessed by Otis. Gable doesn't want to resort to any underhanded tactics as he defeats Otis with an insane show of strength as he lands an O'Connor roll German suplex to win the match. In his final match of the gauntlet, Gable must use his intensity to out-wrestle Damon. In a difficult challenge against a quick and fresh opponent, Gable would manage to apply his intensity to win the match and the gauntlet. Following the gauntlet, like a prime Mr. Miyagi, Angle would tell Gable he is ready to face Bron again for the Intercontinental Championship, but he must first earn it by climbing the IC title rankings on SmackDown, which he does for the remainder of the year. Gable would enter the 2028 Royal Rumble match, and after an insane performance he would make it to the final 2 with Gunther. Gable would be about to win the match, but Bron Breakker would appear from nowhere to spear Gable before Gunther would eliminate him from the match. With furious intensity, Gable would head into WrestleMania on a mission to destroy Bron Breakker. With Kurt Angle by his side, Gable would challenge Bron for the IC Championship in Canada at WrestleMania 44. Gable would apply all 3 I's in his war with Bron. He must be intelligent to counteract Bron's undeniable speed. He must keep his integrity, not letting his hatred for Bron cause him to get himself disqualified. And he must bring his intensity to match that of Bron Breakker. In a triumphant moment, Gable would land an O'Connor roll German suplex to the champion. He would seemingly go for the cover, but instead he would roll Bron over into an ankle lock as a tribute to his mentor. Bron would tap and Gable would win his 3rd Intercontinental Championship. Following WrestleMania, Gable would make his way back to Raw with the IC title, and with Kurt Angle by his side, back on the Raw brand and with his confidence restored, Gable would start to make steps towards the world title picture. As 2029 arrived, Gable enters the Royal Rumble match. Determined to right the wrongs from last year's Rumble match, and with his 3 I's in mind, Gable starts the match at number 1 as he begins to climb the biggest mountain of his career. The question is not if he is ready, it's not if he is willing, and it's not if he is Gable. It's if he has what it takes to win the Rumble and challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania.